And welcome back. I'm going to do another quick philosophy chat for you guys. Today I'm going to be answering a question from conversationstarters.com. I'm going to try, and I made no promises, but I'm going to try and put a link in the description so that you guys can go check this question out for yourself, as well as the site. They've got like 202 different questions, and you guys can make videos about them. But today I'm going to answer the question, what harsh truths do you prefer to ignore? Now, before I go into this, I'm going to put a little disclaimer here. When I do questions like this, I don't really have any actual answers. I just have my opinions, the crazy answers that I come up with in my mind. And I, of course, encourage anyone who watches this video to answer this question as well. Make videos, leave comments, do whatever it is that you do. Now, what harsh truths do you prefer to ignore? So, starting from number 5, because I have 5, starting from number 5 and going to number 1. So, number 5, my parents were abusive. Now, if you were to ask them, they would say they were not abusive, of course, right? And this kind of, it's a lot of history that I don't want to rehash right now, but they, or at least my dad, was diagnosed with chronic fatigue, unfortunately. And that's, to me, is a hard reality to work around, because he was diagnosed with chronic fatigue, and chronic fatigue for a lot of people is just like a very low energy, and it's not just tired, it's like they really just can't move, they can't do anything. But for him, he was like abusively angry and dysfunctional for quite a while. Okay, like I'm talking about like years and years, up until maybe recently he's gotten better. I think over the past few years, he's definitely gotten better. But I mean, my very first memory was him coming home and just beating my mom, and I heard it through the walls. And I may very well do a vlog just on that memory to the best of my degree, or to the best of my ability. Number 4, there is only a limited amount of time to do anything. There's only a limited amount of time to do anything. And that one's kind of self-explanatory. Like, there's so many things that I want to do. There's so many places I'd like to go. There's so many things I'd like to accomplish. There's so much money I'd like to make. There's so many fucking things. But there's only a limited amount of time to do everything. And this one kind of dovetails with the next one. We're all going to die, and that will be it. Now, some people do believe in an afterlife. Okay, and I would like to think that there's maybe an afterlife, but I don't have any evidence for it. And I hate to say this, but unfortunately, I really don't believe that there is anything that comes later. Okay, and I think most people who are generally rational and sane believe that nothing comes later as well. Because, I mean, think about it. I mean, as far as we know, our consciousness is simulated by this machine that we have in our head, right? Which pretty much is, like, my brain is me. And if when that dies, that was me. And there you go. It's over. It's done. And that is kind of pessimistic in a way, especially when you have a rough life. Like, I know I've lived a rough life, right? I mean, I just talked about that with my my 5th reason back there. Number 2, I am responsible for myself. This one is particularly hard for me to deal with because, like I say, my parents weren't super awesome and amazing and great to me, but, I'm the one who has to take responsibility for that now. That's me. I have to take responsibility for those horrible things that they did. The trauma that is down there, because they put trauma, and I know they put trauma in my nervous system, and so now I have to deal with that. And so I have to do all of these things and also deal with trauma and being like socially, behind a little bit because I was left in isolation so much. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into like a rant about how much I hate my parents, but something that's really a lot of how that I do see the world, unfortunately. Um, which is why things like, as I mentioned in like my vlogs, shut your brain off to stories, because those stories will destroy you. Okay? And remember, you're responsible for the stories you tell yourself. Number one. I have to get a job. My parents aren't going to help me pay for this Shangri-La forever. They're going to help me pay for universities, or at least what they say. But they're not going to help me pay for this forever. They want me to stay in school, which I'm definitely going to do. And I do want to get a job, but this is probably the worst reality that I have to ignore, because low-skilled labor, at least in the United States, isn't really the best. Okay? Now, some people, I'm sure, would agree with me. It's better than other countries. I don't know. I'm just calling it like I see it. So there we go. Those are the 5 harsh realities I prefer to ignore. So please like, comment, do what you guys do. Peace out. I love you.